Hi, I'm Rick. Welcome to the Campfire. I'm glad you're going to spend some time with me. Before I tell you the story, let's take a few minutes to relax and settle in. I want you to close your eyes. Give yourself permission right now to let go of everything else you're concerned with. There's nowhere else you need to be. There's nothing else you need to be doing. Give your mind permission right now to wind down and rest. Take a deep breath in through your nose, filling your lungs with air. Hold it. Slowly exhale through your mouth. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, release any tension in your body. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a forest. The sun has set, and now it's nighttime. The air is cool and crisp, and the only light comes from the stars twinkling in the sky above you. As you step into the forest, you can hear the sounds of nature all around you. Listen to the rustling of the leaves in the wind, the chirping of the crickets, the occasional hooting of an owl. As you make your way deeper into the forest, you see a campfire flickering in the distance. You walk towards it. You take a seat by the fire and feel the warmth of the flame on your face. Take a moment to focus on the fire. Watch the flames dance and flicker, casting shadows on the ground all around you. As you watch the fire, allow your body to relax even further, feeling the warmth of the flames soothing your muscles and your mind. Now take a deep breath in and smell the aroma of the burning wood. Feel the gentle breeze on your skin as it carries the scent of the forest to you. As you sit by the fire, keep taking deep breaths and feel the calmness of the forest surround you. Let your mind wander, imagining the beauty of the forest at night. Allow yourself to feel at peace with your surroundings, feeling grateful for the tranquility that surrounds you. Let's start our story. When the vegetable man knocked on the door, Emma went to answer it with a tired face. She felt like she knew him pretty well. He had been coming all spring, and his cheery welcome always left a nice feeling behind. But it wasn't the veggie man. At least, not the right one. This one was a lot younger than the other. He was tall and sunburned, with a rosy, happy face and sharp, pleasant blue eyes. A spray of honeysuckle was pinned to his coat. "Want any stuff for the garden this morning?" Emma shook her head no. "Mr. Morris always gives us ours. This is his route." "Well, it looks like you probably won't see Mr. Morris for a while. Yesterday he broke his leg when he fell off the porch at home. I'm his nephew, and I'll take his place until he comes back." "Oh, I feel so bad for Mr. Morris. Do you have any green peas?" "Yes, there's a lot. I'll get them inside. Anything else?" "Not today," Emma said as she looked longingly at the flowers. Mr. Morris Jr. saw it. In a flash, the honeysuckle was taken off its pin and given to her. "You can have this if you like flowers. I guess you like flowers," he said when he saw her pale face light up with happiness. "Yes, they do remind me of home and the country. Oh, this is so nice." "So you're from the country, huh? How long have you been here?" "Since last fall. I was born and raised in the country. I wish I were there. I can't stop missing home. Seems like this honeysuckle brings it right back. At home, honeysuckles grow around our porch." "The city doesn't appeal to you, does it?" "Oh, no. I feel like I should suffocate here sometimes. I'm afraid I'll never feel at home." "Where'd you live before coming to this place?" "Up at Middleton. It was an old place, but it was pretty. Our house was covered with vines. There were trees all around it and big green fields beyond. But I'm not sure why I'm telling you this. I forgot I was talking to a stranger." "Pretty little woman," he said as he drove away. "But she doesn't seem happy. I think maybe she married a city guy and has to live here now. I guess she doesn't like it." Over that honeysuckle, her eyes looked really hungry. When she talked about the country, she looked like she was about to cry. When Emma went back to work, she wanted to cry more than ever. She was very tired and her head hurt. The small kitchen was stuffy and hot. How she missed the big kitchen in her old house, with its clean floors and lots of light coming in from outside through the maple trees. There was room to live and breathe, and when you opened the door, you could see green, wind-rippled fields, a beautiful arch of blue sky, and purple hills in the distance. Emma Green lived in the country and always had. When her sister died and the old house had to be torn down, Emma had no choice but to stay with her brother John Green, who worked in the city. Emma was blown away by how stylish her sister-in-law was. At first, Mrs. Green was not happy about having to bring a sister from the country into her family. But one day, the servant girl had a temper tantrum and left. Mrs. Green found it very helpful to have someone in the house who could fill in for Eliza as quickly and as well as Emma could. In fact, she thought it was great that Eliza had no one to take her place. Emma was forced to work as a maid and cook in exchange for food and clothes. She never moaned, but as winter went on, she lost weight and got more pale. She had worked just as hard on the farm, but the close quarters and tired routine were what made her sick. Mrs. Green was strict and irritable. John was worried about his job and didn't have time for his sister. Now that it was summer, she missed her home almost too much to bear. When Mr. Morris came back the next day, he gave her a big bunch of sweetbriar roses. "Here you are," he said with enthusiasm. "Since you like honeysuckle so much, I decided to bring you these today. The roads in the country are now covered with them. Why don't you ask your husband to take you for a drive one of these days? On my farm, you'd be as welcome as a lark." "I'll do it when he comes along, but I haven't met him yet." Mr. Morris let out a long whistle. "Excuse me. I was sure that you were Mrs. Something or other. Aren't you the head of the house here?" "Oh, no. The boss is my sister-in-law. I'm only Emma." Again she laughed. She held the roses up to her face, and her eyes sparkled mischievously as she looked at them. The young farmer looked at her with awe. "You're a country rose of yourself, miss. You should be blooming out in the fields instead of wilting in here." "I wish I could, Mr. Thank you so much for the roses." "My name is Morris, Andrew Morris to be exact. I live out at Twin Pines. We're all Morrises out there. You can't throw a stone without hitting one." "Happy to hear you like the roses." After that, every time the veggie man came, he brought Emma another bouquet. First it was a big bunch of daisies or golden buttercups, then a green glory of spicy ferns, and then a cluster of old-fashioned garden flowers. Emma told him, "They give me life." By this time they were very close. Even though she didn't know much about him, she had a gut feeling that he was strong and kind. One day when he came, Emma was so happy to see him. "No, nothing today. There's nothing to cook for dinner." "You don't say. Where are all the people?" "They went on a trip. They won't come back until tonight." "Really? So here's what you should do. You get ready, and when I'm done with my rounds, we'll go for a drive up the country." "Oh, Mr. Morris, but won't it bother you too much?" Well, I don't think so. You want a trip just like everyone else, and you'll get it. Oh, you're so kind. I'll be ready, yes. You have no idea what it means to me. As he was driving away, Mr. Morris said, Poor little creature. It's just terrible to keep her locked up like that, that's what it is. You might as well put a lark in a hen house and expect it to grow and sing. I'd like to tell her brother what I think of him. When he put her on the high seat of his express wagon that afternoon, he said, Now, I want you to do something. Just close your eyes and don't open them again until I tell you to. Emma laughed and did what he said. She eventually heard him say, Look. Emma cried out as she opened her eyes. They were on a country road in the middle of the oak woods. It was cool, dark, and quiet. Long flags of light fell across the gray stalks. Sheets of feathery plants grew alongside the road. The sky was a beautiful shade of blue. The smell of the forest was sweet and wild in the air. Emma stood up and put her hands together in awe. Oh, how beautiful! Do you know where we're going? Mr. Morris asked with joy. Out to my farm in Twin Pines. My aunt lives with me, and she'll be very happy to see you. This afternoon is going to be a lot of fun for you. At first it was a pleasant drive, and then Mr. Morris turned onto a wide road. Welcome to Cloverside Farm. I'll say it. I'm proud of it. There's nowhere better in the country. How do you like it? Oh, it's beautiful. It feels like home. Look at those beautiful fields. I'd like to go lay down in that clover. Mr. Morris helped her out of the wagon and led her up a flower-lined garden walk. You must do it, and everything else you want to do. Here, Aunt, is the young woman I was talking about. While I take care of the horses, make her feel at home. Miss Morris had a nice face, gray hair, and kind blue eyes. She reached out and took Emma's hand. Come on in, honey. You're as welcome as a flower in June. When Mr. Morris got home, he saw Emma standing on the porch with honeysuckle in her hands and a smile on her face. Well, I see you already have the roses. I wish they would just stay now and not leave again. What should we do now? Oh, I'm not sure. I want to do a lot of different things. I want to go down to that ditch and pick buttercups, but I also want to stay here and look at things. Mr. Morris laughed. Come with me to the field to see my Jersey calves. There's something you should check out. Come on, both of you. Follow this, Miss Green. He walked down the lane first, and the two women followed behind him. Emma thought she was dreaming. The whole afternoon was a feast of joy for her heart, which had been feeling empty. When it was time for sunset, she sat down on the porch steps, tired but happy. She had taken her hat off, and her hair was curling around her face. Her dark eyes were shining, and the rosy cheeks were still blooming. Mr. Morris liked the way she looked. It would be nice to see that every night. And heck, why can't I? I wonder what's stopping me. When the moon came up, Mr. Morris turned his horses around and they drove back through the clear night, past the wonderful quiet of the big beech woods and the wide fields. The farmer looked at his companion from the side. He thought to himself, this little thing wants to be stroked and cared for. She just wants to go home and be loved. How come she can't have it? Back in town, she's dying by inches in that hole. Emma, unaware of the farmer's thoughts, was reliving the joys of the afternoon in her mind. The walk in the pasture, the drink of water from the spring under the hillside pines, the bountiful, old-fashioned country supper in the vine-shaded dining room, the cup of fresh milk in the dairy at sunset, and all the beauty of the skies, meadows, and trees. How could she put herself back in that cage? The following week, Mr. Morris, Sr., went back to his visits, and the young farmer stopped coming to number 49's side door. Emma really missed him. Mr. Morris Sr. never brought her clover or honeysuckle. But one day, Mr. Morris Jr. showed up out of the blue. Emma let him in and her face lit up, but Mr. Morris could see that she had been crying. "Did you think that I had forgotten about you? Not even close, Emma. It was harvest time, and I couldn't get here before. I'm here wondering when you're going to drive to Cloverside Farm again. What have you been up to? You look as if you've been working way too hard." "I haven't felt well. I'm glad you came today, Mr. Morris. Maybe I won't see you again, so I wanted to say goodbye and thank you for being so nice." "Goodbye? Why? Where do you want to go?" "My brother went west a week ago," Emma said with some doubt. She couldn't tell the farmer with clear eyes that John Green had failed and had to leave without saying goodbye to his creditors because he had to go to the west. "Next week his wife and I are going too." "Oh, Emma," exclaimed Mr. Morris in a panic. "Don't go. You mustn't. I'd like to see you at Cloverside Farm. I came to ask you something today. I love you, and if you marry me, I'll make you very happy. What do you say, Emma?" In response, Emma sat down on the closest chair and started crying. "Oh, don't," he said. "I didn't want to make you feel bad. If the idea doesn't work for you, I won't bring it up again." "Oh, it's not that. I just thought no one was interested in what happened to me. You're so nice, but I'm scared I'd just be a bother to you." "I'll take a chance. I'll take a chance. My sweet girl, you will have a happy home. Will you come?" Yes." It was unclear and shaky, but Mr. Morris heard it and thought it was a very good answer. Mrs. Green was angry and sad, but she decided to think that she had been tricked and hurt. But Mr. Morris was a determined man. A few days later, he came to number 49 for the last time and took his wife with him. As they drove through the beech trees, he put his arm around his shy, smiling girl and said, "You'll never be sorry for this, my dear." And she never was.